Glasses on or what do you think? Yeah? I'm looking at you, yeah? I'm not looking at the camera, right? Okay. Yeah, I'm ready. Go. Being the first person ever in the history of man to create a 3D animated film was quite good. It's not something anybody's aware of, but personally I really like the fact that I was this first person to create the first ever 3D animated film, first in history, and you know, that's what it is. It's gone down in history, but nobody remembers. But it's not about that for me, it's about the vision, and it's about being able to talk about it in interviews. How did I get into doing 3D short films? Well, there were a lot of 3D films out at the cinema during that time. You know, the big ones and the small ones. And it was just a case of, is a 3D film what you expect? And it wasn't. And that's what made them so good. And it wasn't a case of what they were, but it's what they weren't. And heading down that path, I noticed that this is it. This is what I want to do. I just can't get on with the guy. I didn't get on with him at all, but you know, he's the producer and you're not really supposed to get on with the producers. It was difficult at first. He didn't really respond to what I said. It was a very one-way thing. He would tell me things, the same sort of thing, day in, day out. And I didn't really appreciate it, but we got the films done. And, well, the rest is history. The animation process was very difficult compared to traditional animation, in that traditional animation you have control over the scene. When I did the animations, there wasn't much control at all. It was a case of holding down a character and then dragging the mouse. And sometimes they would start off facing a different direction and then spin a few times before walking. And sometimes they wouldn't move at all. Other times they would just walk into a wall and stay there. And there were very large turning circles. So unless they spun on the spot, which wasn't very realistic, they just tended to walk in large arcs.
After launch, you may feel dizzy or disorientated for a short amount of time. Well, in that case, I'm not eating mine, I can tell you that. What? Not eating what? Me lunch. You said it'll make us feel dizzy and disorientated. You'll then have to set a course for the moon. This may take up to 3 days.
Other things were a challenge, like animating parts of a vehicle or a part of a bigger thing. So I ended up using simple shapes, such as a purple rod in the famous Bad Thing films. And yeah, the rest is history.
Now, remember, the last time anybody saw this guy, he disappeared. So, he could be anywhere.
Okay, I'll check upstairs.
What kind of a house is this? What the hell was that? Blood? Oh my god.
The whole lawsuit around Resident Evil 4 was a bit disappointing. Myself and co-director Gavin Salkeld really liked the Resident Evil video games. And it was around about sort of the early 2000s when we came up with an idea of why not do another one, but as a film. We had all this creative power and process, and we thought we'll make a Resident Evil, but we'll call it Resident Evil 4. Yeah, because there was Resident Evil 1, there was Resident Evil 2, and there was Resident Evil 3. And we thought, 4, we could do a 4. So what we ended up doing was making a film. However, due to certain, I don't want to put anybody's name out there, but McZ was a bit of a burped again, and we ended up not finishing the film. Several years later, obviously the video game released, a big hit. It didn't really bear any resemblance to our short film, which we were disappointed about. However, it did take the name, and we still haven't heard back from Capcom about this. But yeah, disappointing. If anybody ever mentions Resident Evil 4 now, I always have to say, which one? And they think, PC or PlayStation? I said, no. I made Resident Evil 4, and you haven't seen it.
If your captain speaking, there are experiencing problems in the cockpit. Could you please brace yourself for a first landing? Thank you. Oh, Lisa. Oh, John. Oh, Lisa. Oh, John.
Air to Water was another project that we've never finished. This was again due to interference from McZ and also myself and co-director Paul Salkeld. I wouldn't say fighting, but there was a lot of fighting, and I just can't get on with the guy. He's always been a bit, I don't know.
So, what do I do with these? I will put down a card in the center of the table. Whoever matches it wins. Don't forget to yell snap. Ready? My card is a dog. Oh, snap!
Golden Ass is a film that people will straight away say, down to film. And it was a film because it was filmed. And it was a 3D film because it was 3D. Not as in, glasses 3D, but just 3D. And people say, Golden Ass, that's a 3D film. And that was the best thing I ever made. Obviously a James Bond spoof. But I would say more a spiritual sequel to the James Bond films, because it was very respectful in the way that it treated the subject matter. Jamie Band. I'm often approached in the street and people say, excuse me, and I say, yes, I am Jamie Band. And I'll do the voice, Well, I can't believe it's Moneypenny. Whatever he used to say. I mean, he didn't say Moneypenny, it was Funny Penny in the film for legal reasons. And yeah, it went down really, really well. I had Cubby called me, obviously, and said, we all call him Cubby, his friends. And he said, yeah, it's great, It's a really good James Bond film. We wish we could borrow some of the over-top action sequences for a Bond film. And I said, I'll tell you what, the bit in Golden Ass where he skits on an iceberg with a parachute, I cut it out because it didn't make any sense. I said, you can have that for one of your Bond films. And I think he put it in, or one of them, I think it's Die Another Day or something. Yeah, it went down really, really well. It's one of the best scenes in James Bond history from Golden Ass. So yeah, I just take that as a massive compliment. They just love the film.
At last, the Golden Ass has been stolen and brought back to Russia. Now we can show the world what we are capable of and what we will do.
The Russians obviously weren't keen on their portrayal in the Jamie Band film Golden Ass because they were portrayed as really, really bad, horrible, evil people. Now obviously, I was a lot younger at the time and I just assumed that that's what Russians were like. I didn't realise, there's a nice one or two of them. I mean, I haven't met them, but I've been told on Wikipedia that they're alright, they don't all go crazy. So anyway, they were a bit angry about it. Social media didn't exist then, so obviously there wasn't a big outcry and I could just sort of get on without it. But I think it's one of the things that if people were to watch Golden Ass now, they might think, yeah, this is a bit racist. And it's not racist, it's just that's how Russians were portrayed in James Bond films, for example. And James Bond films aren't racist. So at the end of the day, what is racism? And it's not Golden Ass. That's the last thing people would say if you asked them what racism was. Die and Let Live was obviously the first Jamie Band film, and it was epic. I really, really liked the film. It used a lot of pre-rendered backgrounds, which I wasn't too happy with, but at that time we didn't have the budget for any bigger square block backgrounds like we had in Golden Ass, which we were so fortunate to have. But yeah, the film was really good. And it had obviously the classic theme tune, which everybody remembers. Put the theme tune here. Yeah, no, it was great. It's it opened up that universe for Jamie Band, and the fans that they were saying make another one, and that's obviously why Golden Ass was born. From China with Guns is an interesting story because, well, actually I won't tell you the story to the film, I'll tell you the story behind it. So it's an interesting story because basically it was going to be a bigger budget. It was all filmed in, super Panavision 3D deluxe IMAX film, obviously, which wasn't very common at the time. And yeah, it was just such a good film. And it's a shame that Band had that bit of a falling out. The character actor, the motion capture guy, he went through a really bad time, you know? And, yeah, I don't know what happened to him like that. You know, he was a really good actor, and one day, you know, that was it. He's there, you know, you're drinking with him, meeting up with him, talking about the script and stuff, and I don't know, he just went off the rails, and that was it. Last time I saw him, we were leaving TGI Fridays, and he was dancing and singing, he was shouting, you know, quotes from Titanic about being king of the world and stuff, and then that was it. That's the last time we ever saw him, you know, apart from obviously finding the body. But yeah, so obviously the film didn't get finished, couldn't find a replacement. You can't replace a guy like that. You know, even though we tried to, you know, cell tip and stuff, it just doesn't work. The human body is not meant to be taped back together after an accident like that. Sorry, can we just... It is difficult when people sort of bump into you in the street and say, "Excuse me," and you say, "Yep, I am, that's me, Barry Wilkinson, I made Golden Ass and stuff," and, you know, they give you that look and you think, you know? At least I did something with my life, at least they're, you know, good films, and not everybody likes them, but not everybody likes Independence Day, and it's one of the best films ever made. You know, look at on the IMDb. So it's just, you know, it's difficult to walk around life like that and sort of think, yeah, that's what I did. Those are my achievements, and can I sit down and watch your achievements on the telly? No. Can I watch your achievements on DVD? No. Can I watch your achievements on YouTube? Probably not. Yeah, you can watch mine, so f*** off. Yeah? Might be shit, but I like it, and that's why I made it. So f*** off. Not you personally, I'm just talking to what these people are. I'm sorry.